Welcome once again to Breakfast Central. Now let's go straight to the papers this morning and share with you what stories have made headlines. We're starting with The Nation. And of course, the big one there says, why we dropped subsidy removal plan. And that's from President Muhammadu Buhari. If you, of course, have been following, there's petrol scarcity in major cities across Nigeria as of today. And also, President orders security chiefs to rescue train attack victims now. Still this morning on The Nation, Ikimi, Fayose clash over PDP's loss in Ikiti polls. BOT member ignorant. We can also find here Adeguroye, Umana, and 5 others tipped as ministers. Sanwo-Olu heads 86-man Osun Election Council. Petrol scarcity worsens, motorists, commuters groan. And also Justice's memo, CJN defends Supreme Court integrity. Seems like there's some drama going on in the judiciary across Nigeria. 3 APC senators join PDP, NNPP. Makinde relocates deputy's office. And we can also find here, Wike's temperament denied him VP slot, says ex-governor. We can also see on The Nation, Lagos condemns illegal excavation of wetlands in Magodo. And I think the final ones that we can share this morning, we can't ignore human consequences of such actions. And that's with regards to the subsidy story, I guess. Only CBN board can determine MFL's fate, and US and UK should blacklist IPOB. Those are just simple riders on the page this morning.
All right, let's move over still here in Nigeria to the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, the big story there says, fuel scarcity worsens, black market booms at 300 naira per litre. This is outrageous. This is literally twice the price of what we had before, almost twice the price. Marketers insist on price increase. Fuel stations adjust pumps, hot products. Motorists lament 100% fare hike. Marketers defer on 1 billion naira payment to NNPC. We can't justify subsidy removal. Western countries subsidizing fuel too, says Buhari. And there's a photograph here. We can see photos of NYC swearing in core members against fake news. Details of that on page 28. Council fumes probe states for sacking 9,392 teachers on page 16. 2,079 die in 68 mass killings, says a report. Now we're putting numbers to these killings. We need to also put names and put an end to these killings. Electoral Act. Reps move to override Buhari's veto stalled on page 16. Now we have on page 4, Ogun Court remands 5 more suspected monarchs killers. And on page 4 and 5, BRT driver flees as crushed mother dies, daughter hospitalized. That's very heart-wrenching there. Pipeline vandalism. IPOB dismisses allegation as Buhari blames group. Now at the top of the paper, we have some other stories here. Presidential poll. Atiku raises team to woo Wike. Rivers governors camp adamant. That's on page 2. Now, interestingly, we did have an analyst, a PDP party member, join us to talk about Governor Peter. Governor Amechi, who was Ifeanyi Okowa, I beg your pardon, who was then picked up as PDP's vice presidential candidate. And you asked the question. He said, do you think that Wike would be aggrieved? And he said no. But now we're seeing in the papers that apparently he is aggrieved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, details of that on page 2. Page 16, Buhari nominates 7 ministers. 3 APC senators dump party. Body of benchers raises peace panel as Supreme Court justices fight CJN. It's a legal war on page 28. Cost of powering telecom services to hit 720 billion naira. Page 25. The problem with this whole power issue is that it has a ripple effect. It will affect every sector and affect every citizen. Absolutely. So we can't even just turn a blind eye and pretend like it's not happening. Last 2 stories here. Banks record 1.2 trillion non-performing loans on page 20. Still on same page. States to lose 19 billion naira in oil gas revenue, says World Bank. That's all. I'll be taken from the Punch. Let's move on to our next paper.
All right, let's go to Tanzania now, where we, of course, will be sharing stories on The Citizen this morning. It says here how military action can work in the DRC after East African leaders agreed to send in a regional force to try to end fighting in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Analysts said yesterday that there was need for thorough analysis of the problem and adoption of the right mandate to ensure that the force succeeds in its mission. Also, and this you can find on page 2 of The Citizen. Government to diplomats, this is what is really going on in Loliondo. And CCM elders back Mwinyi's economic plan. Local tea auction trials set for later this year. It says the Tanzania Tea Board Director General Nicholas Moya said the auction, whose trials are expected to start in the second quarter of 2022-2023, would stimulate economic growth and empower local smallholders. We can also find the top of the page on The Citizen, National opening up. Goma says it's good to make right-wingers cry. And in business, why Tanzania is miles from clean energy goal. And we can also find a Court Digest verdict. POB loses appeal in 334 million shillings tax assessment dispute. Those are the big stories on The Citizen this Wednesday morning, all the way in Dar es Salaam.
All right, let's move over from there to the Daily Nation. And I mean, it's a very, very light front page here, but very heavy story indeed. The Daily Nation in Kenya. Police are investigating whether victims were involved in an online fraud or in online fraud. Now, we can see 4 photographs here. And the story up there says, cash, crypto deals, and 4 murders. Apparently, the police is trying to investigate these 4 friends who disappeared mysteriously before their mutilated bodies were found dumped in Kijabe Forest and in Magadi. Now, it was reported that before they died, they led lavish lifestyles on questionable sources of wealth. Some are dabbled in crime, but the question is, who wanted them dead? The story is on page 10. Now, these people who were found dead are Moses Nyaiche, Elijah Omeka, Fred Obare, and Frank Obegi. And we hope that the details of this is unearthed as soon as possible. Here we also have a story that says, no more ugali sosa as cost of hunger soars, as the cost of living continues on an upward trajectory. Food sellers are finding new ways of coping with high prices. So basically, those in Kenya must now know that they have been warned not to expect extra servings of ugali, popularly known as sosa. Everyone is just finding ways to.
What's ugali?
Ugali. So when we go to Kenya, I think it's a particular. So patrons in food kiosks usually ask for ugali sosa, which is given for free. When they have, it's like, I think it's a sauce that they eat with food, right? So when they have too much, when they realize that they have too much stew left on the plate and not enough ugali to go with it, so they ask for extra. So the free servings are being driven to extinction, to the chagrin of clients by hitting maize shortage, which has licensed millers to increase the price of flour to levels that most households cannot afford.
You're gonna have to, be very, very, cautious, with the way you eat now. It's pretty much the same.
Manage the stew
exactly
and the ugali that you have, because once that ugali finish, it's
no
all
more
over for you. I mean, we're laughing about it now, but it just shows that right across the continent, we're dealing with the same issues, the same problems, spiraling cost of things, and now food is being affected.
It tells a lot about your managerial skills. If your soup finishes before your eba or pounded yam or your...
Oh, my eba always, my swallow always finishes before my soup, always.